Hello everyone, and now welcome to a game between Infi versus Yumiko. Yumiko has spawned as the red human player over here on the bottom left-hand side of the map. Meanwhile, Infi, I believe, spawned as the random human, since Infi seems to be playing random as of late. This game was taken from the Chinese New Year Cup back on the 15th of January. Human finally, you get twice the amount of human in this game. Daniel hates games. Well then, I don't know what you're doing on Twitch other than to try and spread all of that wonderful hate. Anyways, let's go ahead and break things down. We are looking at an altar of kings, barracks, and a farm being placed down up on the other side of the map. It is pretty much the same exact thing, more like 10 times the amount of breakers in a normal game. Yeah, there are gonna be a lot of spell breakers, but I like okay, so I like what Blizzard did in terms of balancing in preparation for WarCraft 3 Reforged. If you guys remember, they have been playing with the balance of WarCraft 3 for quite some time, and one of the things that they added and they changed for human is they decreased the power of animal war training, but upped all of the units' starting hit points. So what did that ended up doing? It was a complete wash, but it almost made it so that Dragonhawk Riders, Griffins, and Knights were still good units, even if they didn't have the animal war training. It almost became an absolute necessity in order to catch up and maybe just be a little bit better than all of the other units out there. Now, other changes that they added was the addition of Sundering Blades. Sundering Blades allows knights to deal bonus damage to, well, medium armor, which is exactly what human was really missing out on. And it's also the reason why so much of human matchups ended up becoming Spellbreaker Wars 2.0, because, well, the best unit to counter spellbreakers were other spellbreakers, and you just kind of invested so much into spellbreakers that it made the game a little bit stale. Now that knights are significantly stronger against spellbreakers, dealing bonus damage, having faster movement speed, able to close in on that distance, it adds the ability and the caveat of whether or not you want to end up trying to train griffins in the human mirror match, knowing that if your opponent just all of a sudden stops making knights and goes back into spellbreakers, well, those griffins can only target heroes, and heroes generally have higher resistance to magic damage because of their hero armor. Now, Archmage is already sitting at level 2, has a pendant of energy, and perhaps wishes that he could get a little bit more mana going inside the Archmage before getting that pendant of energy there. Having around 300 mana at this point in the game would just be an absolute blast. All right, Water Elemental gonna get left behind. Meanwhile, let's take a look. Footman dives on inside, only to get shooed away by an arcane tower. Archmage gonna go after the Murlocs here. There's an ensnare onto the Water Elemental. More damage coming across. Footman gonna be able to scout out all of this. We are looking at the supplies. Let's take a look. It is 30 compared to 34 over 36. Yumiko has yet to tech to tier 2. Meanwhile, we are already, well, just now started at tier 2 as well. Do pros prefer MK or Alchemist as second these days? It really depends. I often see much more MK just because Thunderclap was made significantly stronger. Thunderclap does a lot, able to slow down units, able to just deal so much damage to all of those units there. Meanwhile, we are taking a look. Archmage going to try and shift back up. There is an illusion Archmage right there as they're going to get caught in the front. Footman gonna try and chase after those militia. Arcane Tower right there. There is a farm. Archmage may end up taking down that peasant. One more shot, and there it goes, as the Archmage here is already at level 3. Footmen are also getting taken out again here as damage is just adding up more and more. Arcane Tower, let's take a look. There goes another Footman, once more Archmage. I don't know if he got the experience there, but level 3 Archmage versus level 3 as the Footmen are just running around inside here to try and defend. Low hit point Footman in the back doesn't really want to head over that far. Water Elemental taking a bit of, well, summoning feedback damage as the illusion now chasing once more. I would say there is a natural preference for the MK. The Mountain King is generally much stronger. Both abilities very strong as well. And because you are often getting priest as well, you want heroes that have higher armor, making it so that you don't drain as much mana on your alchemist. On your priest, as we're looking at the footmen now making their way back. Yeah, I know healing spray does also do a little bit of healing, but you really want your alchemist to be much more of a tankier unit than trying to constantly healing spray. You also want him for acid bomb. Yumiko, double water elementals, trying to push against all of these units. So much water everywhere here. Double water elementals pushing their way back, but Yumiko now low on mana. What is his follow-up play going to be? Footmen, also a lot of them are in the red here, and Yumiko is actually going to be able to punish Infi if these footmen try to make their way out. There is no arcane vault, and it's going to be quite some time before you actually see any sign of, well, Archmage. What is it going to do? Is it going to be able to actually get in there, perhaps take down a unit or two as the militia are trying to join in on the fight? All right, is it going to be able to fight? There goes one unit there trying to fight their way. Another footman could get taken down. Let's take a look. A little bit of dancing back and forth as the Archmage is going to be able to pull out there. Infi beautifully saving a handful of very low hit point footmen, sitting at 32 over 42 supply compared to Yumiko, who is at 28. Yumiko actually the one behind in this matchup as the Archmage runs out across the map with the Clarity Potion. Wants to get backed up again as we're taking a look at this Archmage perhaps going to be venturing forth. Both players well hydrated with water elementals. Yeah, definitely. But then again, I do not recommend drinking water elementals. You never know where they have been. All right, back across here. Lot of low hit point footmen right there. Mountain King is going to, well, nope, not do anything, perhaps knowing that it is an illusion as we are looking at a water elemental has made its way over. All right, water elemental going to try to get some damage. How come it didn't go after a low hit point footman down to 46 hit points? That didn't make any sense whatsoever as the water elemental is now pushing their way through. Meanwhile, back on the other side, Infi just getting a little bit of superficial damage on the Arcane Vault. Stormbolt to stop that water elemental. It looks like that Mountain King, well, is going to be able to get some early experience early on. 57 experience now as all of those units are just hiding in the back. Well, just really benefiting and healing right now. Staff of Teleportation, as we're looking at the Archmage getting back in on this fight once more. Water Elementals are back down out onto the field. Is he going to try and Stormbolt one of them to take it down? That is the question. Or perhaps he's going to try to clear out and militia clear this particular creep camp. Mountain King, Footman now making its way back over. Double Water Elementals. Are they going to end up falling? Low hit point Footman with the defend up should be able to push back much of that damage. Water Elemental here down to 474 hit points. Is it going to end up falling? Mountain King trying to chase after it as that Water Elemental now backs away. The Priest should be able to get in a little bit more heals. Archmage is at 3. Mountain King is at 1. As we're looking at the Archmage now purposely perhaps trying to aggro that Mountain King. Mountain King looked like he was about to land a Stormbolt and then try and attempt a surround on that Archmage, which is often very difficult as we're seeing the damage now just add up between the two. Water Elemental, well, not doing very much. It's timed life ticking away. Meanwhile, are we looking at militia coming over? No, we are not. As Yumiko unsure of what to do next. Footman Wars in 2020. And it is Archmage Mountain King going up against Archmage Mountain King. No one has gone really into... Well, there's the Spellbreakers that we were mentioning earlier. I doubt we will see any Sorceresses, though, as the Archmage now trying to make its way back. Archmage going to drop a Water Elemental. Nope, not going to drop a Water Elemental. We're going to try and engage as the Footman now looking to back up. There is a quick Stormbolt onto a low hit point. Both sides just going to be trading Footmen as there goes a Footman there. One Footman right there. Oh, is he going to be able to defend? No, he is not. Oh, he gets healed. He gets healed at the last possible second, and Yumiko holds on to a 57 hit point Footman ever so barely. Mountain King is going to be able to land another. Nope. That overzealous Footman said, I'm still alive. Let me get back in there. Only to get hit by another Stormbolt. Priest now looking to back up. Militia already turning back into Priest again. Water Elemental low on life. Gonna go ahead and get dispelled as we're still looking at all of these units getting taken down. The problem, Yumiko's Priest are actually in the front line, making them very vulnerable to the Water Elementals, but they do have Dispel magic, stopping them in their tracks as well. Archmage venturing forth a little bit too much. Gonna go back around. Footman Frenzy going down. We are looking at a possible expansion attempt. Still no sign of it yet. Also, no peasants making their way over to try to set up an expansion here either, as we're getting level 1 weapon upgrades. All right, battle between the trees right here. Militia perhaps going to try and make their way over. We are looking at one. It looked like there was a water elemental here just trying to hold the position, as both sides are getting up more units. 47 supply now compared to 48. We are pretty much even for in terms of overall gameplay, as the Archmage gets up to level 4. Mountain King sits strongly at level 2 and now has a Pure Up of Vitality to go alongside his Boots of Speed. No Brute, no Overseer coming across here. Mountain King sitting at level 2, Potion of Greater Healing. Just right here, Mountain King looking to get as much level as he can, as the Archmage shows up to say, hey, surprise, you thought I was with the rest of my army. Not at all. I'm going to get some damage onto you. Teleportation, Mountain King unable to get a Stormbolt off. Just no Bloodlust on that unit either. Meanwhile, we could see a Stormbolt onto the Water Elemental or Dispel Magic. Let's take a look. It looks like that one Water Elemental will just get taken down with the Dispel Magic there. Now, in the human versus human matchup, I am expecting Bash over Thunderclap, as the front line is just going to be mainly Spell Breakers. Coming back around, Stormbolt onto that Archmage. Archmage going to have a very bad day, losing a lot of mana, down to 158 mana. Should be able to drop one there. Footman also getting taken down as well. And this is, in a battle like this, knowing when to Stormbolt a hero versus knowing when to Stormbolt your opponent's Footman is absolutely key. There was no follow-up by Yumiko after Stormbolting that Footman there. Meanwhile, there goes a Water Elemental. Mountain King could easily go after some more units. There's a Stormbolt onto the Mountain King here. Mountain King, what is it doing? Scroll of Town Portal. In order to get away, Mountain King actually gets a Priest for all of his effort as he scrolls of Town Portals back out. Archmage of Yumiko going to use this opportunity to clear out a difficult 655 creep camp, pick up a useful item, as we're looking at the militia now make its way back again. 51 over 66 supply compared to 50 over 60. Still surprised that, well, he just doesn't kill off one of his own peasants. Yumiko actually losing 30% of his economy just for one supply. A Cleaving Pitlord would be sick against a Spellbreaker army when I think about it. Yep. But then again, a Cleaving Pitlord, it doesn't deal that much bonus damage, and the Spellbreakers have a little bit of extra range. The Pitlord also generally jumps into a battle and likes to use Howl of Terror, which the Spellbreakers are immune against, so it doesn't really work out nearly as well as you would hope. Archmage coming back down across here. Mountain King sitting strongly at level 3. Inner Fire. Where did the Inner Fire come from? Must have been from a creep camp, as we are not at castle and we are not at mastery training on those priests. All right, Magnetar Reaver gonna come across here, gonna end up getting taken down. Mountain King gonna, well, take all of that experience here, gets to level 4. There is a Tome of Knowledge, I believe, as this Shaman will get finished off too. Tome of Knowledge picked up by the Mountain King. All right, Archmage continuing to do more creeping again. Both sides, 13, almost 14 minutes into this match. No one yet setting up an expansion. Web spinners, arachnids, well, more units coming across here. Archmage is not going to level up. Mountain King is not going to level up either. And it's really going to come down to battling against each other's army for that last bit of experience. All right, you can take a look. Was the Mountain King here? No, the Mountain King's not even here. There he is. Mountain King is right there. Wand of Lightning Shield being left behind. That would actually be rather interesting if you Wand of Lightning Shield a Mountain King who already has Cloak of Flames. It would melt away many melee units and that frontline units if it wasn't for these Spellbreakers. Spellbreakers, well, Spellbreakers are immune to magic, obviously, and we still do not see a tech to tier 3 on either side, meaning that we are not going to be going into Knights. I'm pretty certain that they are immune to Cloak of Flames. It is technically a magic ability. And it takes mana to activate. Let's take a look. Yeah, I don't see the little flames rising up around a Spellbreaker right there, as there it goes. Now, the problem with with trying to go for Knights is that by the time you go for Knights, if you only have 1 or 2, the Mountain King easily comes across into the game and is able to Stormbolt them and take them down. There is one Goblin Zeppelin still flying up high, and we're still looking down. Oh, Yumiko's going after all of those priests without much of a problem. Goblin Zeppelin picks up and drops back units again. Militia trying to join in on the fight, but that's not a good spot to be. Standing next to a Cloak of Flames is hazardous to your health. Mountain King taking a lot of damage, going to be forced to retreat, uses a Scroll of Healing. Now he's diving away and trying to dodge back all of that damage. Meanwhile, Yumiko with a great amount of micro in that Zeppelin to try and pick up low hit point Spellbreakers and get them from the front of that battle. All right, Yumiko picks up another, drops some more down. Let's take a look. Are we going to try and save more units again? Spellbreakers are going to be able to easily eat through many of these peasants. Now going back the other way as we take a look at the Spellbreakers trying to finish off peasant after peasant. Peasant moving very slowly. Yumiko may accidentally end up giving experience to the Archmage. No, Goblin Zeppelin flying coach for all of those poor peasants right now as they're able to jump inside. So far, still throughout this game, no one has set up an expansion yet. We are still 5 minutes away from, 5 to 6 minutes away from running out of gold in those gold mines. Actually, no, 6 to 7 minutes away. I take it back. That is still quite some time to go. But I would expect, or at least attempt, I would not be surprised if they at least started to try and expand, or perhaps even try to go in for tier 3. The next battles are going to be crucial, as they're going to set the pacing of the rest of the match. 2-2 upgrades going up against 2-2. There is True Shot Aura and Devotion Aura on Infi's army, so that is a 10% increase in damage and in armor overall, as the Spellbreakers are going to go ahead and battle it up here. All right, who has the better concave here? Archmage drops a level 3 Water Elemental. It's going to try and engage quickly, just get Dispelled Magic again, as the Spellbreakers are looking to back up once more. 9 armor compared to 7, and then 17 to 23 compared to 15 to 21. 60 over 72 supply. Spellbreaker is going to go ahead and join in on the fight. Archmage is right there. Units are now trying to pull back again. The priests are plentiful for Yumiko, and that is the issue as well. You only see 4 priests when you're looking at Infi's army. Meanwhile, there is 1, 2, I guess there's 6 priests for Yumiko, allowing for more healing across the board. Also, Yumiko with that Zeppelin micro has been able to pick up and drop off units pretty consistently, as there is a 4 supply difference between these two armies. All right, Spellbreakers once again going to go ahead and shift, and perhaps that is the reason why the battle is a bit close. Mountain King, losing a lot of mana right there. Stormbolt, Potion of Lesser Invulnerability, but there it goes. Both sides coming across with those units right there. Priests are going to try to join in on the fight. Spellbreakers are trying to finish off multiple units, as that Spellbreaker gets picked up by Yumiko and will most likely just get dropped back down again. There goes a blue priest getting taken out. Do we still have? Yeah, we still have that unit there. Archmage now being forced to use a Scroll of Town Portal in order to get away, and there you have it. Units getting picked up and dropped back off. Yumiko with a beautiful save on that unit, now sitting at 75 over 78 supply. 66 over 72. More priests are getting added to this army. Spellbreakers looking to back away again. We're looking at, well, was that? Is it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 priests still keeping that back line alive and well to keep those Spellbreakers healthy and going. We're looking at, well, Mountain King has plenty of mana, 510 mana. That also is going to be a big difference. Yumiko doesn't have as much mana on his Mountain King for in a long drawn-out fight. Who's going to come out ahead? Spellbreakers finishing off a priest. Mountain King was Stormbolted, but it doesn't matter very much, as the Mountain King is going to end up losing quite a bit of mana here. All right, trying to go after more units. Well, there goes a priest again, and sniping down priest in this battle is absolutely what you got to be doing, as that shifts things in favor for you. All right, Militia going to be joining in on the fight. There goes another priest. What massive control. Let's take a look. Yumiko Well, mass control on those Spellbreakers. Spellbreakers have so much mana. They are constantly just getting switched from red bands to blue bands to red bands to blue bands to dispelled. Finally. All right, the militia turning back into peasants now, as you see constant red, blue, trying to figure out what are you friend or are you foe. Priest of Yumiko still alive, keeping all of these units alive here. Are we going to perhaps see a Mountain King lay down another Stormbolt onto a fleeing unit? No, we are not. Well, a handful of peasants presenting themselves as peasants. How come I couldn't say that slow? As we're looking at the Mountain King now looking to back up soon. Archmage sitting at 5.5. Devotion Aura, True Shot Aura, the real big advantage. Meanwhile, Yumiko sitting across over here. He has 72 over 78 supply compared to 53 over 72. He has been doing a better job. And, well, the Mountain King of Infi has better items as well. He's had more mana, but he hasn't been able to get into the proper position to finish off and take down units. That has been a key point throughout the match, as the Spellbreakers are once again going to have maximum mana. And, well, what is that going to mean? Well, it could be a lot of, Water Elementals switching sides and turning the tides of battle constantly. All right, Water Elemental going to try and shift back away. Mountain King gets Stormbolted, losing a little bit of damage as well. Spellbreakers fighting their way through. What are you going to end up fighting? Goblin Zeppelin Micro, well, picked up a full hit point Zeppelin. Not quite sure why you would do that. Get that unit back in the fight as a Stormbolt finishes off a Priest. Archmage now up to level 6. Is it going to go for Mass Teleport? No. Brilliance Aura level 3 for even more mana. More mana to keep all of his priests all topped off and ready to go. Goblin Zeppelin picking up units, dropping them back off. Yumiko trying to dive in after all of these units again. Mountain King, is he going to get a lot of mana? Perhaps if he finishes off a priest or some other unit, he'll have enough mana from the level and the Brilliance Aura to throw down another Stormbolt, but still not there quite just yet. Mountain King coming across. There's a control magic again, as you are looking at the Mountain King still low on mana. No, finally has enough mana, but did not lay down a Stormbolt as of yet. All right, extra mana going up against the Archmage, who already has a lot of mana. Yumiko now sitting at 245 mana and counting back up. Mountain King here at 135. It's counting up as well. Mountain King here sitting at 335 and also getting higher, not using a Clarity Potion since he's really not in danger as of yet. Goblin Zeppelin overhead going to keep track of all of these units. This is a close, tight game. 67 supply compared to 63. Infi has found his way back in as the gold mines have now pretty much been mined out. Only 30 seconds of mining left there. And who has the larger army? Yumiko has more experience, but he doesn't have the mass teleport in order to get in and out. Level 6 Archmage, but it is not mass teleport. As you see, level 3 Brilliance Aura, unless he went for level 2 Water Elementals, which I don't believe is the case. Yeah, I don't think that's the case. Oh, no, wow, this is a level 3 Brilliance Aura with a level 2 Water Elemental. All right, so Brilliance Aura has constantly, well, we'll have to see if that is a level 3 Water Elemental right there. We're going to be ready to go and ready to engage again. This Water Elemental may just end up getting control magicked very, very fast. As we're looking to, well, join in on a fight, both sides are going to scout each other out, say, do you have an expansion? If you don't, well then, how are you currently getting gold? And we may be looking at a Walk of Shame maneuver by Yumiko. Militia now going to make its way over here. There is already a Water Elemental. No, Militia are going to just join in on a fight for what is going to be a last fight here. All right, Yumiko uses a Potion of Lesser Invulnerability just in time. Going to try and get a little bit more experience again. Perhaps try and finish down some of those priests. There's a Bash and Militia now joining in here. Stormbolt onto just a running priest there. Mountain King now sits at level 5. We could be looking at another Stormbolt coming across here. There's a Stormbolt as you're trying to remove mana on that Mountain King. Down to 215 as it's dropping slowly but steadily. Another Stormbolt snipes down another priest. And, well, priests are just taking storm hammers to the head, or Stormbolts and to the head right there as retreating back once more. Peasants need to perhaps call to arms again, as the Spellbreakers are at 2-2 upgrade and have superior upgrades still. 64 supply going up against 65. There are peasants mining a little bit of long distance as we're going to re-engage again. Are those peasants going to just call to arms and try to fight back in? That might be the case. Mountain King losing a lot of mana right there, as there's not that many targets. Priest, are we going to see another Stormbolt come across Mountain King? Should be Stormbolting as many Priests as it possibly can to try and win, as you see a Control Magic flipping water elementals on both sides. All right, you can take a look at that. Well, both sides just losing units again, dropping another water elemental right there. Are we going to see more Control Magic? Yumiko could steal it back. No, it gets stolen again, as the Mountain King are just trying to fight here. All right, what is going on? Yeah, Control Magic again. Or is that just the animation constantly to show that it's been taken? All right, no, Control Magic back to red. All right, Mountain King trying to fight his way through. Militia joining in on the fight. Priests are all right here. We're still looking for the Mountain King trying to finish off multiple units. Mountain King at 809. Stormbolt, more Control Magic going down. And this is the most controlling game of WarCraft 3 I've ever seen. More Control Magics in this one particular game than perhaps a year's worth of replays. I can't even count how many times they've gone back and forth. Yumiko's, well, Mountain King in the back, sitting at level 5, getting very close to level 6. It gets taken down, as we should be looking at some long distance mining here. Yumiko sitting at 53 over 78. Infi perhaps, 43 over 72. He is mining a little bit more, but he has taken more in losses, as these peasants may start to do a little bit of long distance mining now. Archmage is at 6. Mountain King at 5. There are still 4 priests for Yumiko staying alive and well. Meanwhile, we're looking at the army of an Infi. Infi only with 2 priests. Take down those last 2 priests. If you focus onto them, well, that is going to be the majority of the tipping point right there. At this point, your priests are a resource, as they convert time into hit points on your units at a much better rate than anything else. Yumiko is going to be much more ready to go into that next fight, but he also needs to make sure to protect those priests from Stormbolts. Any little bit of damage on a priest could be followed up with a level 3 Stormbolt for a pretty much instantaneous death. Peasants now doing that little bit of long distance mining that we mentioned. Once again, Spellbreakers are all maxed out on mana. So is that Mountain King. And we're looking at the Archmage with superior upgrades. And, well, Mountain King with 540 mana. That's all right. Let's find out what's going to be happening next. Archmage down to 260 some odd mana. We're going to be going into the center portion here. Water Elemental scouting out. More peasants are here. This might be the last battle here on the Northern Isles. Who's going to be coming out into that next battle? Mountain King, is he going to try and buy something? Does he have enough gold? No, 92 gold. Doesn't have anything to buy. He's going to go ahead and sell something. And then did he buy a Boots of Speed? I thought he already had that. As we're looking at the peasants now trying to get away. Oh, there's a reveal. Archmage going to go after all of those units. Goblin Zeppelin right there. One peasant going to get taken down. Is it going to level up any of those heroes? No, it is not. As we're going to be looking at the Spellbreakers lining up. And here we are ready for an engagement. All right, Stormbolt. Oh, onto a priest, but a beautiful pickup by the Goblin Zeppelin ensures no death there. All right. Spellbreakers, massive number of Spellbreakers still out onto the field here. Archmage with 525 mana. Meanwhile, this one is at 570. That additional Mantle of Intelligence is absolutely huge. Mountain King has a Potion of Lesser Invulnerability ready to go into the next fight. All right, little bit of damage being absorbed right there. Mountain King wants to Stormbolt something. Is he going to be able to do anything? Mountain King Stormbolt and also losing mana. That is going to hurt. He's in a bad spot. He needs to get back out of there. All right, didn't use the Potion of Lesser Invulnerability in time at all, but perhaps he wasn't ready for the battle. Mountain King, is it going to get the level 6? No, it is not, as the Goblin Zeppelin still keeping, well, tabs on everyone here. Keeping control of your priests in this battle, making sure they are not exposed, is perhaps the #1 priority on both sides. Infi only at 2 priests right now, as we're going to take a look at those units now trying to back up. Water Elemental going to go ahead and get finished off. trying to finish off more units again. Mountain King gonna go ahead and dive back around as we're gonna take a look. More Dispel Magic. The two Water Elementals were actually too close together, and because of that, they could end up getting taken down. There goes one of the last two priests. Wait, no, he's still alive. Finally getting taken down. Potion of Lesser Invulnerability dodges that right there as the Mountain Kings are gonna both go ahead and get to level 6. Stormbolt onto the last priest, and with that, Infi may end up being over. Are we going to see? Yes, Avatar on both sides. I believe the other priest, but no, he did end up making it back out. He's at 23 hit points, still able to stay alive as the units are trying to head back every which way. Mountain King going to go ahead and finish off the priest there. Immune to all of that stun. Stormbolt onto another priest. So both sides lost 2 as Yumiko is still trying to chase. Mountain King chasing after the Archmage. Mountain King, is it going to be able to take it down? Takes down the Archmage. Mountain King is in trouble though. Down to 247 hit points. He gets picked up, dropped back down, and there's the GG by Infi. A beautiful game, back and forth, microing until the very end. It really did come down to the priest, keeping them alive, even though Infi got to level 6 on his hero first, on his Mountain King first. The Potion of Lesser Invulnerability on Yumiko to dodge that Stormbolt at a key moment, get to level 6 himself to neutralize everything. Once it was 2 priests to 0, any war of attrition would definitely go in Infi's, or excuse me, in Yumiko's favor. And I think the final score, the difference in the score really came in those final moments. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed it.